new the next week's
Oh,
to put in.
Okay.
So if you miss a week, no big deal, and you can always get the information. So basically what that is, it's a portion of the story that's in the book.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you read the whole book, you'll recognize the story. But also, for those who don't like to read books, like me, I wanted just the information you needed to have to understand what I was talking about.
Right.
So that's what's in there. What did you think?
I like it.
Yeah? Awesome.
How long does it take a candle to cool?
These will usually cool in about 20 minutes for this one. And probably a little maybe an hour. And it just depends on what temperature you pour at.
What do you do with the little ones? That's what I was gonna do.
So these are going to be popped out of the world, and they can either go in a warmer, but next week I'm going to put the woodwick in the jar and use them in the jar.
Sticky hands?
Yeah. You can use them with the
These are.
So they're hearts. Yeah.
It's on the roof, but what do they do? Try to hit it off?
They're also for warmers.
So, yes,
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
I was going to do the other one tonight too, but
Where the lockers are at.
so this warmer, I love this warmer. You can use this top portion for any of the tarts.
Yeah.
Or you can take a candle and put it on
Doesn't
there.
look like slime.
Right, so it's a double
Yeah, 4. And I
fun stuff, right?
Huh, that's interesting. I never knew much about candle making.
So I've known her a long time.
It smells so good in here too.
Yay!
Yeah, that one stuck to my ceiling.
I'm actually just gonna.
So you know Lindsay? Yeah. I've been going to dinner first. I think it's going on 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I usually.
So is that like a different room?
Now I'm going.
Yeah, it is. It's a heart also, but bigger. So
He's the.
I was just telling you, so that's the heart bowl.
Okay.
For these. These can be burned in a regular warmer. Or next week, I'm going to go ahead and put a wick in the jar, and then we'll add some of them to the jar. So.
He pastors the church over on 2nd Street.
Fun, right?
And so I met him when I first moved.
So
there.
this
I've been
warmer
there a few times.
is a dual.
And then I went
You
to
can
the
either
Methodist
put
church
the
a few
wax
times.
straight
I
in the
haven't
top,
made a commitment
or
anymore.
you can take it off and
I
put the
was
jar
raised
on
in a
there.
Catholic
Oh,
church
okay.
in California.
Oh, okay.
I was saved in '89.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been here since 2019.
Oh, okay. We've been here since 2001.
I think
Oh, okay.
close these up.
Yeah, I retired from the Office of Education and my mom had dementia. And so I moved out here to be closer.
Yeah, that's the palm pillar wax. So this is the one we're doing this week. And then this soy wax,
Getting here?
Yeah.
we're probably going to use for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, my dad has.
And the very last one is going to be the gel wax.
Happier now than ever.
We're going to do that one last.
He is with the rest of us.
Well, he's in a
Fun, right?
wheelchair.
And there are so many. There's beeswax and
Yeah.
paraffin wax, and I mean there's so many different kinds. So
It smells like
yeah, that's the heart.
Hawaiian type smell.
So that's this one.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So these are the ones you can buy at Walmart.
Right. And so, okay.
Just pop them out for your warmer. Yeah. Oh, I thought this was fun. I actually had these made a few weeks ago with my logo in the center.
Oh,
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And the Well Center Wick Ministries, and they are a centering device. So what happens if a wick isn't centered in your candle? I probably should have done this earlier, but I'll do it next week. But if the wick is off center in your candle, it can change the scent of the fragrance. It can, right? I know. And it'll burn your wax differently. And so if it's off center, it'll tunnel, and it could create a pool of hot wax that will explode your candle.
Oh my goodness.
So much like if Jesus isn't centered in our lives,
right?
these things go, right? So that's why
Things can be
it gives you the
off-centered and-
size of the
That's
jar,
cool.
right? And then
That's
this,
a cool thought.
Yeah.
those coloring, yeah. So that's actually wax with a deep dye to color.
Okay.
So like this dye that I used tonight, this pigment, cannot be used in candles with a wick because it'll clog your wick. And so you have to use a different type of wax, dye. Yeah, so all of those will clog a wick.
Wow.
Yeah. There's so much.
I didn't know it was that complicated.
Right?
So why, if the wick, the wick isn't centered, why will it change the smell? How does that work like that?
I don't know the science behind that, but I think what it's saying is that because you're only burning a portion of the wax, you're not getting the full fragrance, the full scent throw. And like, if you look at the, did I bring it? I didn't
Well,
bring it.
if you think about flame and how flame moves back and forth,
Right, okay.
you know,
Instead of straight up.
and fire is, I don't even know because I don't know that much about candles, but it makes sense because I cook.
Yeah.
And so it really makes sense that if the flame moves just a little bit, it's going to burn that particle a little differently, and this side's going to be cool, and this side's going to be extra hot.
Right.
So it might make it more pungent,
Yeah.
or it might burn the wax.
Burn.
I don't
Right.
know.
It,
You
it
know.
could burn the scent.
Mhm.
Instead of allowing it to throw properly, it'll overheat it, right? And that's part of the tunneling is what's called when the wax melts in the center. And then you'll see like a lip of solid wax.
Right,
It
right.
tunnels, and if it tunnels, that's when your candle can explode.
Wow.
And so all warning labels on candles will tell you to burn it for a few hours. So it wants you to get the full burn all the way to the edge of the container.
Oh.
But it doesn't want you to go very far down, right? It wants you to stop every 3 to 4 hours. And then it'll tell you to trim your wick and recenter it. And so these are used. There's fancier ones, but you have to recenter. Once it's centered and you burn, you have to recenter it.
Is there a candle? The candles
Oh.
actually say that? I have
It does.
never read
I
the
didn't
candle.
even know the candle was
I didn't either.
It really does say that at the bottom of the jar.
Yep, it makes
It'll
sense.
say to be sure to burn for a few hours. Do not leave it unattended. Don't put it in a drafty area near a window or a fan or air conditioning. It'll also say the best way to put a candle out is to snuff it out in its own wax instead of blowing it out.
Mhm.
And then you want to trim your wick to 1/4 inch above the wax
I've never.
at every burn.
Oh, be darned.
Right? I've done everything wrong.
I know, right?
And you were blessed because it didn't go.
Well, I am the way Mona used to be. I don't burn candles
I don't
at
either.
all.
I don't either. I have some, but I never lit them.
I have some there in the
I
drawer.
usually have the wax.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of frosty.
Yeah. Fun, right? It's ready. So yeah, to be in the world but not of the world. So we have to come out of the mold, right? Fun stuff.
That's cute. That's just cute.
You want a little heart?
So what do you do with those? You just
Yeah, you
just
can.
melt them down
You can
again?
burn them in
Oh,
the
okay.
warmers.
Oh,
And then next week I'm gonna put a wood wick, which is gonna resemble the cross. We're putting a wood wick in, and then we'll go ahead and put the ones that are out of the mold into the jar, set apart. Right? It's a very light fragrance. This one I was gonna do tonight, but I
You
didn't
can
get
smell
to
it.
it. This is orange cranberry, one of my favorites. And we'll do that next. Do you guys have a favorite fragrance?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
I don't know, but I'm
That's
tired of cranberries.
I like different types.
We've been having it
Ooh, I like that.
I like
Yeah,
the,
That's pretty.
in the melted wax ones, I
Yeah.
like the leaves, the
I like that one.
leaf smells. The
Okay.
fall leaves.
Oh, the fall leaves.
It's got those woodsy
Yeah,
scents.
kinda.
Do you know how many, oh my goodness, how many fragrances are out there?
I
Woo!
can imagine.
It took me 3 years or more to figure out that my favorite fragrance causes me headaches,
Aw.
which is the pine scent, like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I love pine fragrance, but I would always wonder, why do I have a headache? What do I have? It causes me to have a headache.
Oh, goodness.
It's my favorite fragrance. So
Wow.
what do I want, a headache or the fragrance?
Not the headache.
Yeah. So then you just get a, now that I can make it myself, I do a lighter fragrance. So this is a ½ ounce to a ½ pound is what I use tonight. So usually the ratio is 1 ounce fragrance to 1 pound wax. And some waxes will allow a heavier pour of
Yeah,
fragrance.
Yeah, and it's too much.
Yeah, and so now I can make my pine fragrance any strength I want.
These almost look like little soaps.
I should put those away so they don't get eaten.
Probably eat them as soon as I'm taking trying to bathe with them.
Right, and you know, wax is so versatile. You can make chapstick, bath soaps, all this kind of stuff, right? And it's used at the top of jelly jars when they're homemade. So, yeah, they pour wax and it hardens at the top, and then that preserves the jelly even more.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, wax is used on tires. It's used in so many things, and one of the things I found so fun, that back in the 1800s, they used to have what they called a courting candle. And it was a pillar candle on this wire, circular like this, right? And the father of the girl would allow the man to come to the porch and date, right, have their first date. And if he thought that the man was suitable for his daughter, he would give them this much time, and when the candle burned down to a certain, it would go out, the date was over. So the father would set how much time he wanted his daughter to visit with the man by where he set it on the iron.
We could still
Spindle.
use us today.
Isn't that fun?
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd like to
Use
know any of
those
that
today.
stuff.
Can you imagine what a teenager they would do that? I would.
Absolutely.
I used to get wraps on the window and stuff as we stood on the porch. My dad would be like, he did. He smacked a few over the head with a baseball cap.
Woo!
Wow.
He did.
Wow. All of these dating tips.
Out of curiosity, are you gonna post your video somewhere so like my mom wants to watch
Oh,
it? or
I didn't
anything,
even
or-
remember that it was going.
Oh.
Yay! It's going. I think it might not be going, but